Hello and welcome back to our tutorial series on Python. Today we would be discussing a new data type that is called lists in Python. So let's get started. So first of all, we would be declaring a list in a variable called myList. So let's declare a variable first, and then how to declare a list, we would use square brackets to declare our list. And let's say we declare a list with the data type strings. So let's make string entries here. We write apples as the first element, banana as the second element of our list, oranges as the third element, grapes as the fourth element, and then we would write peach as the fifth element of our list. Now I would show you some operations that we can perform on our variable mylist, and first of them is that we can access the length of our list. And how we can do that, we can just use the print statement and we apply the length function on our variable mylist. And if I run this code, I would see that it would return me 5, and that shows the number of elements in my list. Now I would show you how to return the type of our list. So if I, let's comment it first, type of the list. And how would you do that? You would use a print statement and then write the function type and then pass the variable mylist. So if I run this line of code, I would get class list because it is a list class, right? The variable type is a list. So now I would show you how to index your list or how to get the specific entries from your list. For example, as you remember, I have told you earlier the Python indexing start from 0. So this one would be my 0th element. It would be 1, 2, 3, and 4. I repeat again, it would be the 0 element. It would be at position 1, then 2, then 3, and then 4. So let's access the first element of our list. So how would you do that? I would use the print command and then I would access the first element of my list. So if I run this, it would return me apples. So far, so good. Now, as you remember, when we were doing indexing, there was a colon operator. So if I want to start from 0 and end it at the third element, I would use the print statement again and then pass on the list variable, start with the beginning and end at 3. What it does, it would return me 3 elements: apples, banana, and oranges. And this is because my colon operator started from 0 and terminated at 2 because the oranges was at 2. I have told you earlier as well, when we are doing the positive indexing and we are setting a parameters for start and end, it always terminates at end -1, not the one we have dedicated here. Contrary to this, if I use the negative indexing, for which this element peach would be at -1, what would I get? Let me show you first. Print my list and I want to access the last element. It would return me peach. Now, if I use the negative indexing with the colon operator, you would see the difference what you saw in the line 15, this line of the code. So if I want to print some elements, with a dummy data range, let's say from -1 to -3. You would see the difference here. Now, if I run this line of code, it would return me grapes, oranges, and bananas. Now, let's show our list again. It started from -2 and terminated at -4. And you can see what this line does was it started from 0 and terminated at 2. But if we are doing the negative indexing, then it starts at the position next to this one and it terminates at the location we specified in the left side. So you have to remember this difference pretty well. So now I would show you how to insert an element in our list. For example, if I have my list and I want to insert a specific thing in that, what I would do, I can use the simple indexing rule again. For example, if I want to update the position of 2 and I want to assign this value a new list position called, okay, what fruit name? Apricot. And if I print my list again, then what would happen? You can see that at position 2 there is a new list now called apricot, and you can assign a variable string variable here as well. If I does so, then you can see that now the position 2 that was oranges has now been replaced with a string variable called apricot. So these are some basic functions that you can perform on the lists, like length of the list, the type of the list, indexing on the list, and how you can replace an element that are already present on the list. There is another key thing that you can do with list is that you can store elements with different classes on a list. For example, if I declare new list, then I can store anything in that. For example, I can store an integer value in that. I can store a string in that, or I can store a boolean operator in that. So you can do anything with the list, and it does not compels there is no compulsion that you have to store the elements of the same data type. And if you run the print statement, then you would see then it would print all the elements from different classes and it would not give me an error. So this is a good thing with the list, that you can store elements from any class in that and it would not put you an error. And the good thing with the list is that you can change the elements in the list, while with other data types, for example tuples, you cannot do that. So for now, I think this would be the end of this video, and it was all about the beginning of the list. In the next video, I would show you how to add the elements in the list and how to concatenate the lists. So if you are new to our YouTube channel, then please subscribe and turn on the notifications for the upcoming videos. So see you soon in the next video, and happy learning.